last time out, Buddy endured an average race, to say the least. Now, it was time for him to move on as Formula 1 heads to Paul Ricard for the first time in over 20 years. So, after a hectic Canadian Grand Prix which saw changeable conditions and Buddy finished in 10th place, obviously Buddy got called to that court case meeting about a case relating to a contract that he'd supposedly signed for his dad's new IndyCar team, which, mind you, he didn't know existed at this point. There is going to be a court case about this held after the Austrian Grand Prix, but he's not too deterred by it because he is certain that he did not sign the contract. On to the weekend in hand, it's Renault's home race, and Buddy is quite confident about this one. Renault showed good pace in all of the practice sessions, but once again in qualifying, rain wreaked havoc, and once again Buddy just missed out on the top 10 shootout. So, we are all set for Formula 1's return to Paul Ricard for round 8 of the Formula 1 World Championship. The rain has cleared, it is a fairly reasonable day, 21.4 degrees with light cloud as the conditions, and Buddy has a bit of work to do, obviously starting lower than he wanted because of the rain in qualifying, which kind of scuppered him once again. But it was a crucial race for Buddy and his team. It was Renault's home race. So obviously there's a lot of pressure on the team, who have been very adamant that the drivers should deliver this weekend. But now looking at the starting grid for this race, and on pole position, it is Sebastian Vettel ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, who lines up in second, and all Ferrari front row showing their pace at this stage of the season. Lewis Hamilton lines up in third ahead of Daniel Ricciardo in fourth, Max Verstappen in fifth, and Kevin Magnussen in sixth. Carlos Sainz lines up in eighth ahead of Charles Leclerc. Simpson's actually promoted to the top 10 due to a penalty with Grosjean in 10th. Gasly starts 11th ahead of Van Dorn. Bottas with a penalty, Hartley, Sirotkin, Ericsson will line up in 16th in the Sauber, Perez, Ocon bad qualifying for Force India, Stroll and Alonso, who also has a penalty. So, the scene was set for round number 8. And as mentioned before, the team were very adamant that their drivers delivered. Okay. A lot of key people at Renault are here today. Make sure you and Carl do them proud. Obviously, that will put a fair bit of pressure on Buddy, especially after his weak qualifying performance in the rain. Rain really is not his best friend, because that's the second time in a row that he's missed out on Q3 due to conditions that he wasn't expecting. The Renault doesn't seem to handle that well in the rain. Carlos seems to have gotten a grip on the car in the rain better than Buddy has. Buddy just seems to struggle a lot in the rain, but as you can see, we have the lights in front. Lights out, away we go, and Buddy gets not a great start, and shooting through goes Romain Grosjean, who immediately gains a place, and Buddy has a couple of cars on the outside. He brakes as late as he can, which allows him to fend off all the cars that attacked him apart from Grosjean. But now heading into this complex, as you can see, they're all bunching up ahead And Buddy having a little look down the inside of Leclerc as they're about to head onto the back straight. So Buddy has lost a position, not the best start that he could have hoped for. And as you can see, he has Stoffel Van Dorn right behind as they head down the DRS straight. Obviously no DRS at this point, as you can see. But Buddy has the advantage, still a relatively new engine, and he's able to defend that position. Now moving on though, as you can see, Vettel has had an incident and the safety car has come out. Why have they got the safety car out? This is ridiculous. Of course, you should ask Codemasters the same problem. But as you can see, we're now moving on to the restart. As you can see, he is right behind Charles Leclerc, hoping to get the jump on him. As you can see, everyone's backing up. Buddy actually has to take a little bit of avoiding action. He doesn't quite get the best of exits. I think he was in a bit too much of a high gear into the tight final corner. But Buddy has remained in 9th place. He's kind of fallen away from Leclerc a bit. And as you can see, Valtteri Bottas is right behind him. Obviously, that is no contest. And Bottas is able to get through, obviously with the advantage of the Mercedes. But as you can see, Buddy makes it round the outside of Charles Leclerc, and he has taken P9.
Excellent job, Buddy. Keep going.
Weirdly, Magnussen then passed Bottas and Buddy began to close.
Okay, Bottas has a damaged wing. Try to overtake him.
Okay. Obviously that was not ideal for Bottas. As you can see, Buddy has a run down the straight and he's gone to the inside to see if he can pass him going into the chicane, which he has managed, and he's ahead, but he makes a little bit of a mistake in the second part and doesn't get the exit. And Bottas is now right behind him, and with the extra power, he's able to get round the outside. It's impossible to stay in front. He's like a rocket on the straight.
Okay, box this lap.
Of course, not willing to be held back by a car that has a damaged wing, Buddy has decided to pull the trigger and come in this lap. This is for a set of the super soft tyre. So he changes his tyre.
Complete, go now.
With the vision of going onto the ultra soft at the end. So, as you can see, he's come off the limiter, but he's actually been undercut by Perez, which is not part of the plan, and he has to repass. But as you can see, he's now right behind Sergio Perez, and he's turned up to overtake mode, got the DRS, and Perez is easy pickings for Buddy. And he is back up into P7. He then was caught by both Vettel and Bottas.
Don't worry about Vettel and Bottas, you're only going to lose time fighting them.
Obviously, both are part of the big three teams, so absolutely no point fighting. As you can see, what Buddy did was make sure neither got a run which was going to put him offline, and they could just simply drive past down the straight so Buddy doesn't lose too much time, which he successfully managed with both. Now moving on to lap 41, as you can see, he's coming to the pits. This is for a set of the ultra soft tyre.
Go, go, go.
Once again though, he is undercut by Perez. As you can see, Perez now actually has a massive gap,
See these tires through to the
but
end
he's
now.
ahead of Roman Grosjean in the point. Sainz also got undercut by both Magnussen and Perez, and then things got a bit awkward.
Please, John, he's holding me up. You're gonna have to race cars, buddy. He's having none of it when we suggest it. Typical. You kidding? I can easily catch Magnussen and Perez. He's holding me up.
So, obviously the friction between the two teammates continuing into this race. As you can see, Buddy now has a run on Sainz down the main straight. He goes down the inside into turn 1, but Carlos brakes later and turns in, and there's contact.
Careful, buddy. We can't have a collision on home soil. You tell him the same. He's turning in every time I try to overtake. Thankfully, I'm through.
As you can see, to be honest, it was quite unnecessary contact. But now Buddy has been released. He is now caught up to the back of Magnussen, who he's got a run on down the main straight, and he's able to brake later, and he's able to take P8.
Nice move. Good job.
Unfortunately, he didn't have enough laps left to catch Perez for P7, but he finished in P8.
Good job, buddy. That's P8. P8. Could have been P7 if Carlos didn't hold me
Take
up.
care of the car on the way in.
I understand, but we can't do anything about it now.
So, Buddy is obviously adamant that he could well have managed to finish higher had they asked Sainz to move over for him. But P8 is still reasonable. Obviously, the rain in qualifying kind of hampered him a bit, but both cars got points on home soil. As you can see, it is a Mercedes victory with none other than Lewis Hamilton taking the spoils. So, Buddy has finished in the points every race. The big question was, can he continue that streak as Formula 1 heads to Austria, and what will come of the impending court case?